Well, welcome everyone to Love vs. Hate. My name is Anne, and I'm your old-fashioned nerd.
And I'm Emily, your mainstream millennial.
And on this podcast, Emily and I like to debate and argue about the things in life that we love and hate.
And we don't always agree, but we always try to find some common ground.
Yes, and we are so excited to be here because
we're back!
Yay! Did you miss us?
Yeah, we've been gone for like 7 months. We don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah.
On your Wednesday mornings when you might go and try and listen to our episodes, we're not there.
Well, I mean, we are there. Yeah, we're there. All our old stuff. But we haven't had anything new in 7 months.
Yeah. So, Anne, why don't you tell everyone what we've been up to while we've been away?
Yeah. Okay. Well, Emily got like a new house. She also got a new job. Like life just kind of got crazy, and we wanted to. If you haven't listened to our like update episode, we just needed to take a little break. You know, sometimes that happens in life, but
we just need to like be friends.
We just needed to be friends.
We didn't really know what that meant before, like for us specifically. I mean, we know how to be friends.
Yeah. It's not like we've never had a friend before.
But we didn't know how to be friends without also being coworkers and podcasters.
Yes. So it took a little bit of an adjustment, but gosh, what have we been up to? I mean, we've been going out to eat quite a few times. We got ice cream the other day. You know.
It sounds like we haven't been doing anything.
I know.
No, but really, it's been awesome. And we have actually just really enjoyed being away. But the other week, we got together and we were like, we kind of miss podcasting.
Yeah, we miss just like having this conversation and being able to just have this fun banter, and it's a really fun thing to do. And so, yeah, we were missing it.
Yeah, and so we talked about what the podcast is going to look like. And while we're not like 100% sure like completely what it's going to look like, we do know that there's going to be a little bit of change.
Yeah, and one of the big ones was, I think one of the reasons why we were struggling earlier was it was a lot of content to put out an episode once a week. It was a lot of, we were trying to come up with new ideas for content, and it was a lot of time consuming. And so one of the big changes is we're going to be releasing episodes bi-weekly. So 2 episodes of Love vs. Hate a month, every other week.
Another thing that we really wanted to focus on with bringing back the podcast is really being able to talk about something that we really love, and having 1 episode out a week. Sometimes the topics that we talk about weren't like, I wasn't super into like all the topics, like Dexter's Laboratory.
I know. Why did we do that? Don't listen to it. We're telling you now. Please don't. Just I know stop. You might be tempted. Don't. It's not a good one. Okay, just don't.
We do have some really good ones, but some of them I'm like, cringe, Emily, cringe.
I know. And I think it was this, like you were saying, we didn't quite have, like we were trying to we were experimenting, really. Like, what were some ideas and what were some topics that we could talk about that really would bring out, like, our banter and just be fun to talk about. And so that's something I'm honestly excited moving forward, is we kind of, now that we've gone through that phase, we kind of have a stronger idea of what's worked well, what we've enjoyed talking about, what we feel like is also more engaging for you as the listener, more entertaining, more educational. Like, that's what we want to start focusing on, is those topics that we truly genuinely love or truly genuinely hate. Maybe. Just so it's more engaging and just a more fun listen for you, the listener, and also for us to just talk about.
Yeah, so we're really excited for what's to come. So keep an eye out for future episodes once every other week. Yep. I'm still getting used to the schedule too, guys.
Yeah.
But for now, we have an episode right now featuring my friend Marisa. So keep listening.
Well, we are so excited to be back and to have our very first episode that we're recording. We have a special guest with us.
Yes. So Marisa, my friend from, back in middle school, is here with us.
Hello.
And we're really excited because, as you guys can tell from the title of this episode, we're talking about BTS. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're not like the most popular K-pop group ever. I don't know.
Yeah. In the whole world.
So we're talking about BTS. And Anne, what are your thoughts? Like, do you have any thoughts?
Of course I have thoughts, Emily. I have all the thoughts.
Yeah, Anne actually, she had to sit me down the other week and ask me if I was okay. She was like,
I was a little worried. I was worried. Not gonna lie.
She was like, Emily, are you still
like okay?
Are you still functioning? Do you
Are
still
you still
go to
a normal
work?
human?
Do you still have hobbies? And I was like, yes, I have hobbies. It's called BTS. If you can't tell, you guys, I love BTS.
She's obsessed, like full on obsessed. As Marisa, I believe you are as well.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, like just nonstop. Literally, we started a chat that was just about BTS because like we had to separate it from our normal conversation.
BTS girlies chat is going on every day.
And I just can't, it's so much. I can't keep up with it all the time. It's constant.
I know, and slacking all the time.
Yeah, well, you know, I can't keep up with your level. Your level's just you both are on a different level.
Yeah, I'm jealous because Marissa has just been consuming their content for a couple years now, and I'm just getting on the bandwagon.
I had a head start, so.
Yeah.
Not fair.
I do want to know, why did it take so long to get Emily on board?
She was anti-BTS for a long time and would not let me talk about it or share anything.
I sound like a bad friend, but I'm really not, I swear.
But I knew that once she listened to them, she would be in love. And it was true.
It's true. And I told Marissa after I got into BTS, I was like, Marissa, if I ever am sassy to you again about music, slap me in the face, please. I think I've told this story on the podcast before about Casey Musgraves.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And Marissa was the one that wanted me to go to the concert. And I was like, no, I don't like her. And then I listened more, and then I liked her, and then it was too late. Sorry, Marissa.
It was sold out, so we didn't go.
Emily, you have to trust your friends.
I know. You know,
Build
that's
trust.
going to be my life lesson today. Is
Okay.
trusting friends.
Yes.
Already
Marissa
my
is
life
always right.
Yes.
So if you were not a fan and you were anti-BTS, which just blows my mind, because like as long
How
as
can you be?
Yeah, how? So we should tell the story of how did we get into BTS, Emily? How did it happen?
I mean, Marissa has told me about BTS, and I'm like, whatever. You can listen. I don't understand what they're saying. I don't speak Korean. Why would I want to listen to them? And I'd heard like Fake Love when that was, I think it was on, I don't know where I heard it, but I heard it and I was like, this is weird. Like some parts are English and some parts are Korean. I don't understand.
Mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard Dynamite and I was like, okay, this is fun because it's an all English song. But I never really cared. I mean, I was like, cool, it's a nice summer bop. Cool. And then one day Anne came over.
Yep.
And she was like, hey, my friend was telling me about BTS. And I was like...
Yep. Shout out to you, Caitlin, because she was the initial starter for me. Because I was in a similar boat. Like, I had heard of them. I think I probably had heard their song, like, on the radio at some point.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't really know who they were.
Everybody knows of them.
Yeah, exactly. And my friend Caitlin, like, I visited her one weekend, and she's like, okay, I am obsessed with BTS. And I was like, oh, boy, okay. And she's like, I have to show you at least just a couple videos. And I was like, okay, like, I'll humor you, fine. So she showed me a couple, and I was like, okay, like, I get it, like, they're kind of cool, whatever, but I was like, I don't get the hype, like, I don't get why people are so obsessed. And so then we had this weekend together, and I was like, I have a friend who's just like your friend Marissa, who's obsessed, and I don't understand.
Yeah, and so then I texted Marissa, because we were like, who are these people? We
Yeah,
want to know who they are.
We were like, let's just learn their names so we can at least, like, you know, humor our friends, like I said.
So I texted Marissa a picture of BTS, and I was like, what is the order? What are their names?
And getting this text, I was like, I am so excited. Like, she's on the ship. She's coming. I just have to help her along.
All aboard the BTS ship.
Don't let her off.
Yeah, and so then we started learning their names, and then Marissa so graciously recommended watching On. And that, if you have never seen that video, please go watch it.
On Kinetic Manifesto.
Yes,
It's
that
massive.
version. And Anne and I watched it, and we were just like blown away by not only the song, not only the video, but the dancing and the dance break.
I will say it was real good. I was in this mode of like still skeptical. Like, okay, like they're good, but like I don't understand the hype. And then Emily and I, in order to learn who all of the members were, we had to like learn their pictures, and then we ended up, I remember we have a video of us watching one of their music videos with Marissa on FaceTime, trying to be like, wait, is that oh no, is that JK? Wait, no, that's Jin. No, that is JK. Well, what? Who's who? And then it just became this game, and then literally within 2 days,
we knew all of them.
We knew them all, and I became obsessed.
We became
so proud.
ARMY.
I love BTS, and I'm totally an ARMY, and I don't understand how it happened. I love them.
Yes. So before we just continue fangirling, we're gonna for those of you who don't know the basics of BTS, we're going to just fill you in a little bit.
Give you a little intro.
And by we, I mean Marissa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just introduce BTS. It's consisted of 7 members.
Okay, so the 7 members are RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook.
And that is, what order? Was that just RM is the leader?
He's the leader, so I put him first, and then it's age order after him.
Yes.
All right, so we said the 7 members. So now we can talk about the lines, the subgroups within the group. So there's a rap line, which includes RM, Suga, and J-Hope. And then there's a vocal line, which is Jin, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. And then they also have like a dance line, which is J-Hope, Jimin, and JK, Jungkook.
Yeah, not to make it any more confusing.
Honestly, it kind of helped me learn the members, especially when you're listening and you want to learn their vocals.
Yeah.
It does help to, okay, this is a rap song, so I only have 3 options here.
Yeah.
Only pick from these
Only
3.
These 3 people, or vice versa. Like, only these 4.
There's a better chance.
Yes. So you do, that's how I slowly learned, like, their voices for sure.
Fans have a
Yeah.
name.
Yes.
We've said it a couple times already, which is ARMY. And what does this stand for?
Good question. It stands for Adorable Representative MC for Youth.
Yes.
Very deep.
Yeah, yes.
They were going to be called Bells.
Yes.
No, Army's way better.
I'm still not sure.
That.
I like Army because I think it just encompasses so much more accurately, like, the fans. Like, they genuinely are an army. Like,
Yeah.
It's
guns
content.
blazing. Just kidding.
Yes. Passion.
yes. And what is BTS? Like, what does that stand
what
for?
does it stand for?
So the Korean, I guess, pronunciation would be Bangtanso년단, which is like Bulletproof Boy Scouts in Korean, which is, I don't know, interesting.
It's cute.
Yes.
BTS is a little bit more professional.
I mean, it
guess.
kind
Yeah.
of makes sense with ARMY, like bulletproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all worked out
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah, we love.
Yeah.
We love. We don't judge either. You know, they could make.
No.
You never judge.
No,
You just
I
accept.
mean,
It works for them.
Yeah.
So
and then how long have they been together?
they debuted in June of 2013. 9 years.
Oh my gosh.
it's a long
It's-
time.
That's
crazy.
a long time for us to not have known about them.
I
And
know.
I
Yes.
am just sad thinking about it.
Yeah, when we should update. So when was our weekend where we just slid down the slide in a matter of 2 days?
I'm pretty sure it was in February of 2022.
Okay. So yeah, so we're pretty late to the game.
Yeah. Real late. But you know what? As Suga says, what does he say? Something about like the first
Doesn't
time.
matter
Yeah.
when you found us or something.
Yeah, the first time you found us
Yeah.
is our debut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
He's
dear. I
so
love
cute.
that. This is gonna happen a lot. Well, we're trying to minimize it, but it's so crazy because like I'm gosh, how old am I now? I'm 28 right now, and I've never really fangirled before, and yet somehow this blows my mind. They have some kind of magic that
Yeah.
you just become obsessed with them, and it's a very fast slope.
Slope.
You just it's literally like a
Downhill.
drop off. Like it like I said, it was 2 days. I learned who they were, I learned their names, and then that was it. I was a fan. I loved them, their
Literally.
music.
You guys,
Everything.
It's kind of scary. The other day, I was like, I need to listen to something else besides K-pop and BTS. I turned on Taylor Swift, which if you guys have known, I love her.
Obsessed.
I turned on Taylor Swift and I was like, I'm bored. I miss BTS.
Yeah.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
hitting you right.
How do they have this magic? Marissa, can you explain this magic?
Oh, can I? I don't know.
It's hard to
I
explain.
think
It's just like it's a feeling
yeah.
that
Well,
they
and
give you.
they just love each other,
I do think that's
So-
a large part of it.
and
Yes.
it shows, and then you feel the love, and you're like, I want that love all the time. So I'm just gonna continue to watch them all the time.
Yes.
Well, and I do think that's something in their favor, which I think we're
Yeah.
probably going to get into, is the amount of work and the amount of content that they put out for their fans. I mean, they've had multiple reality TV shows. I mean, basically, I don't know if they would qualify it the same in Korea, but yeah, it's this reality TV show where we just follow their lives for a little bit. They have so many, just like they have memberships, like you can subscribe and you get little photo cards. I mean, it's funny, like you know, and
If you're outside the circle, you're like, what?
I know,
But
like,
once
is
you're
this
in, you're like,
insane?
yes.
you're like, more. But yeah, if you just like are learning about BTS for the first time, maybe you have a friend who's an ARMY and they have their bookshelf. I feel like everyone's got like their bookshelf with all of their albums. And I don't even know what's on your bookshelf, Marissa.
Oh, well, basically all of their content that I can buy is on my bookshelf. So all of their albums, all of their DVDs, concert DVDs, anything.
Yeah.
I've got it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And they have their, what are those things? Army bombs?
Army bombs.
Which are little,
It's a light stick.
yeah, it's a light stick
not
that you
an
take to
actual
the
bomb.
concert.
Yeah,
And then they do a wave, and it's so cool.
Yeah, it
I mean, I've
lights
never
up.
been there. Hopefully one day we'll actually
Please.
see a Army bomb wave in person.
Yes.
If you guys listen back to our concerts episode, you know that I am not a fan of like big concerts where it's loud and like I'm just, but I will say, I cannot wait to go to a BTS concert.
You will do anything for BTS.
I will do anything for BTS.
Yes.
How do they have this power over me?
I know, it's
I
crazy.
don't know. They're special.
Because they're so cute. And I think one of the things that we've talked about, like, outside the podcast is that they signed up basically to be in this band all together. And, like, a lot of other boy bands, like One Direction, or I can't think of any others right off the top of my head,
Backstreet Boys,
have
Beatles.
all, like, well, not them,
Beatles isn't a
but
band.
like One Direction, they went on The Voice or The X Factor to become solo artists, and then they got stuck together. And it was really cool for a while, but they were like, they ultimately did not want to be in a boy band. They wanted to do their own thing.
Right.
And so that's one thing that I think makes it special, is that they all signed up to do this, and they can all also do solo work too.
Yeah. Well, and I think one thing that makes them unique as well, because it's what's interesting about BTS in particular is they are a global phenomenon. I mean, if you aren't a fan, you've at least heard of them, like we said in the beginning, and you've probably heard their song and not even known it. But they really are just massive. I mean, they're the biggest band pretty much, at least right now, that I know of. And really, I think one of the reasons that is they were able to break into the American market, unlike any other K-pop group. There have been a lot of K-pop groups before BTS that kind of helped them. Like, I always kind of think of it as like they allowed, they were walking so that BTS could run.
Yeah.
Because like they just,
BTS run!
Yes. Because K-pop has been around for a very long time, and it has been in the American market for sure, and there's lots of people who have enjoyed it, but nobody like BTS has ever been nominated for a Grammy. BTS is the first K-pop group for that.
Still a little salty about the Grammys.
I know, I am too. But they've got like they've won other American awards.
Yep.
Yeah, why don't we talk about that?
Yeah, like talk about how have they broken into like the American market? Why are they so popular?
So I don't know why they're so popular. That's a good question. Maybe because of their amazing songs? I don't know. Take a listen.
Yes.
Yeah, so they have won AMA Awards. They won Artist of the Year this past year, and then they have won Fave Duo and Group. And then they've also won BBMA Awards, Top Social Artist and Top Duo Group.
Love that for them.
I know. And they perform at these award shows, which is amazing for us, so we can see it.
Yeah, and they performed at the Grammys.
They have multiple times.
Grammy nominated twice.
Even though they should have won both times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're sad, but
They will win.
we
They
can
will
try
eventually.
again. Yes.
But again, even just to be the first K-pop group nominated, I think it's obviously a huge achievement and honor. Yeah. And I think because they were able to break into the market, and a lot of it is because of their fans. And that's one thing I think that I find, for me, one of the reasons I've fallen in love with them is they are so dedicated to their fans because they know how much their fans, like, it's this mutual respect and love because they know they wouldn't be BTS without their fans. And, like, they wouldn't be nearly as big and as global as they are now without their fans. And so it's this nice, I don't know, it's just like they do so much for their fans.
I know.
Give and take.
I feel like they're so humble too. Like, I don't know, they're always so thankful and talking about all the things like, oh, we'll try harder next time,
Yeah,
even
we'll
though
do
they've
better.
literally
too
tried
hard on themselves.
They're amazing.
They're way too hard on themselves.
But the other thing that I like about them is that they're also involved in like what they do. Like RM is like writes a lot of the stuff. Suga's a producer. J-Hope, right? Like they all have a hand in what they do. And it's so cute.
But it's genuine too,
Yeah.
because it's their minds going into their own work.
Yeah, I think the other thing that I've noticed, because I've started to branch out to other K-pop groups, is that their stuff isn't always like, a lot of their stuff isn't about love. I feel like there's a lot of groups and songs that are just about love and stuff like that, like all the popular stuff. But they have like a different message behind a lot of their stuff. So can you talk about like the love yourself, speak yourself stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, that was their messaging. What makes their messaging unique?
So they did a whole like campaign for their album Love Yourself, and they called it Love Yourself, Speak Yourself. Basically, like, just love yourself and be your own person and be proud of it, I guess. And they actually they spoke twice at the UN, so United Nations General Assembly, about that campaign, Loving Yourself, which is amazing.
Yes.
It's so good. I recommend watching RM's speech. He does a really good job, Namjoon, and it is. I think that's one of the things too that is so endearing about them. Like you were saying, Emily. Yes, they have their typical love songs, like every band does. But a lot of their music is really, it's about their own journey. It's about their own self-discovery, and learning how to love yourself. And that's something that I think is really powerful. And it's so refreshing to get new content like that, and especially in the music industry.
Yeah, a fun fact, if you're not an ARMY or like BTS obsessed like we are, is RM is the only one that's fluent in English, and he taught himself how to speak English by watching Friends. So cute. And then they all are learning how to speak English, and I just love just watching them speak English. It is so cute.
There's something very cute about it.
I know. It's adorable. And now all three of us just want to learn Korean. We're slowly learning
That's a
words.
goal. Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
So what other K-pop groups do you enjoy?
I have branched out a lot with my K-pop group listening. At first it was just BTS, like I don't know how long, maybe like 6 months or more. But then I was like, ooh, this group, and it just kept going. So some of them that I enjoy are 17,
which that's like the only one that I branched out.
I'm pulling Emily into 17 slowly but surely.
Yeah.
And then got 7, and ATEEZ, Monsta X, Shiny, and TXT are just a couple.
There are
any female groups?
I actually don't really listen to any female groups.
Yeah,
I've
tried
there.
Like I know Blackpink is probably the most popular.
Yeah.
Twice. I've like heard of them, but kind of similar. I haven't. I think part of it too for me is one of the reasons I love BTS is their dancing is so good. And like I've watched other K-pop and it's not the same level as BTS. And so I'm like,
nobody can match BTS.
I know. It's so
That's
good.
why they're at the top.
Yeah. So we thought it would be fun to do a little quick round of all of our favorite things about BTS. This is going to be so hard also, just letting everyone know. Because my first question is favorite member.
This is
favorite very hard
today
because,
in this moment.
Well, for now, okay, wait. We have to preface with this. They have different terms in the K-pop world, like bias and bias wrecker.
Right.
Who would have known these things were things? I don't know.
Okay, but we're not going to get too deep into it.
Bias pretty much means your favorite member.
Yeah. I mean, for me, and I mean, like you both have said, it's hard to pick one. And it does change daily or weekly. But at the core of it, for me, it's V, mainly because he was the first member that I could recognize, not only physically, like, oh, I could point out V, like, oh, I know that's V compared to the other members, but also vocally as well, because he's got the deepest voice. And so he's always been easy for me to recognize. He was like the first one that I connected with. He's also really quirky, and I love that about him. And he's very handsome. And for me, it's always just V, because he was like my first that I really started to understand. So for me, it has to be V, even though it's so hard to choose. But yes.
I know. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to do a little backstory. So the first one that I could recognize was Jimin. I could always recognize him by his face and by his voice and by his dancing. Woo! And but then I discovered Jin.
You had a
she hasn't
long
looked
Jin
back.
phase.
No,
You-
I have
your Jin
looked.
phase.
I have looked away from Jin,
But then he
But I
usually
was
come
obsessed
back.
with Jin.
Yes.
But today it's J-Hope because I love J-Hope.
J-Hope is very adorable.
I feel like J-Hope and I are the most similar, and I just
agree.
love when he laughs.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
Yeah, he is. Who's yours?
Well, for me, it changes a lot. So today, and pretty much this past week, it's been RM.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
He needs more. I love RM. He's so great.
Next up is favorite song.
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
Oh,
Should we do like a favorite like upbeat song and a favorite
yes.
slow song?
Thank you. Yes, I will take whatever you will give me.
Let's do favorite slow song first.
For me, again, like, because V's my favorite, and this song just, like, it spoke to me in a really key time of my life where I was going through a lot of change. For me, it's Inner Child. It's V's song. He's the only one featured, and it's like he helped write it, and it's just I find it so beautiful because it's him singing to his younger self, and he's basically saying like, hey, I know we're gonna change, but it's okay because I'm here and I know that you're gonna be okay. And it's just like this really cute and just endearing, like, it's okay that we're gonna change, basically. And it just spoke to me, and I just love V. And so that's
Oh yeah, that's another thing about BTS, and I don't know if it's K-pop in general, but they have songs where everyone sings together, and then they also have unit songs, but then they also have solo songs, and sometimes they have duets.
yeah, there's a lot.
Yes.
So that's my favorite, definitely solo. If I had to choose group, I think it would have to be We Are Bulletproof, the Eternals, because it's such a good one. They like speak to their fans, and it's just this beautiful, like, you know, we're not us without you is basically what they're saying, and I just love
I
that.
love that they love us so much.
I know.
I think my favorite slow song, it's so hard because I really love Film Out. I just love listening to it. But I think my favorite is Lights because I literally cry when I hear that song. The message is so sweet, like just about loving yourself, and you're perfect as you are. Oh my gosh. So cute. And it's Japanese also. They also sing in Japanese. How talented can they be? I don't know. Okay, what about you?
Well, I have to agree with you. I think their Japanese albums have the best ballads on them.
Yeah.
So mine would be Let Go.
I love that song.
Yes.
Okay. How about the up-tempo bops?
Mine has always been On Panman.
Yeah, I thought
That
you were
is
gonna say that.
my song.
I know. I knew that song even before I knew like Dynamite. Somehow I just was like, yes, that's Marisa's song.
Yes.
Yes.
That's fair. It's funny because that one in particular, the first couple times I heard it, I didn't watch it with the performance, and I was like, I don't quite get the hype. I don't get why Marisa loves this so much. But then I watched it, and like when we actually got to see them, sort of live, not exactly, but we went to the movie theater,
Right.
And we bought tickets to watch them. It was like the next day. Do a live performance, and it was so fun. And they did Ampa Man, and I was like, I love this. This is so good.
Yeah.
So it took like a performance in order for me to love it. But for me, gosh, there's so many. A part of me wants to say On because it was like my first that really got me into BTS, especially because of the music video. But I think I have to choose Idol just because that song gets me pumped up. Like when I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, I love myself. Like I don't care what you say. Like, yeah,
Good pick.
yeah.
Good pick.
So I have
Oh
to
my
pick that one.
gosh, yes. Okay. I think mine has to be Dionysus. I don't know why
Yeah.
I love that song so much.
Another jam.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
So good. I mean, all of them.
Also, Fly to My Room. I just love that one too. It's not really that like pump up.
It's a more
It's kind
medium.
of medium.
Yeah.
So
Mellow.
yeah. So there you go. You guys can check out those songs
Yes.
to start.
And more.
Yeah.
so many more. But start with those. Those
Okay.
are good ones.
How about your favorite music video?
It
Yeah,
just has
it's
to
on
be.
Kinetic
it has
Manifesto.
To be. It has to be.
Oh, I think I'm going to go for Boy with Love.
Oh, why did you say that? Now I have regrets. That might be my
It's the dance, it's the colors, the
Oh,
sets, everything.
yes.
But also Dynamite B-side.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That as well.
We're
We just
gonna-
can't pick.
yeah, it's,
Yeah,
it's a whole.
you can never go
recommend-
wrong with any of the newer ones.
Right.
Just
And-
don't watch
yep.
War of Hormone.
Yeah, no, avoid. But all of those that we said, please, listeners, this is the thing. If you give them a try and you're open-minded, trust me, that hole that Emily and I slid down within 2 days,
You will slide
you
down.
will slide. You
We'll
will
say hi.
join us, and then you can. It's very fun, and you can ask us questions, and we'd be happy to.
Oh my
answer
gosh,
them.
please ask us questions. Send us photos and be like, who's this? I would love that. Okay. Last favorites is your favorite album.
Mine has to be Map of the Soul, because that was really the first album that I genuinely like listened to each of the songs. It has On, it has Inner Child, and it has Dionysus.
It's a masterpiece.
It is. And it's just, I think that's the most recent full album that they've released. They've released some EPs and stuff. Right. But yeah, it was like the one that I was first introduced to, and I love literally every single song on that album. I favorited every single one. I'm like, these are all good.
Yeah. I usually say the most beautiful moment in life because there are so many songs on it that I've heard more out of like all the other albums, but that's not really fair to the other albums because they don't have that many songs. So it's either that or also Map of the Soul 7.
Well, I would have to say Love Yourself Tear is my favorite. It's actually like the most played album ever in my Apple Music. Fun fact. Love that. It was on repeat for a long time when I first found them. But something interesting about Tear is while they were making it, they were going through a really hard time as a group and were actually deciding whether or not to stay together, which is so sad. Yeah. And they didn't actually let anyone know about that until like the end of that year after they had released it at an award show. They won an award and they were like, wow, this is amazing. Like we won all these awards, but guess what? We were like on the verge of a breakup. I know,
and they are crying as they're like
sobbing and everyone's crying and it's sad, but
they didn't break up.
Luckily, they decided to stay together and they made an amazing album.
And then they made another amazing album.
Yes.
Yes. And what's the song? I can't remember the title, but you'll probably know, Marissa. The one that Suga wrote, like, specifically for the members.
Tear.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, that's what I thought.
Love Yourself, Tear.
Okay. That's what I thought. But it's just like when you know that, it has a different meaning. And all of a sudden it's just like, oh.
It's like a hard rap song, but like it will make you cry if you read the lyrics.
Yeah. And that is one thing I find, like, you can enjoy the music for just its beat and its style, and then when you actually read what the lyrics mean, it has a whole nother level.
Oh, wow.
Like, one of my favorites is Pied Piper.
Oh yeah,
because like it's a good beat, and you kind of like jam to it, and then when you read it, it's like this like I just really love because it's basically them saying like, hey.
Stop being so obsessed.
Us, but stop being so obsessed.
We will never.
Because they're comparing themselves to the Pied Piper, which is that, folklore of he played his flute and he convinced all the children to like come follow him. And it's 100% true. Like it's this interesting play on, we know that you're obsessed, but like, calm down.
You need to have a life
but
outside
at the same time,
love us, but a little less maybe.
But at the same time, we understand that you can't.
Yeah.
So it's this cool, like, I don't know. It's one of my favorites. And it's a good one to,
the first time that I read those lyrics, I was like, wow. They're
very
aware.
Yeah, they are very aware. They know that
they're on Twitter reading all of our tweets.
They know how obsessed. I'm so happy they didn't break up, though, because, gosh, we wouldn't have experienced them, Emily.
I mean, we could have, but, I mean, no, because On wasn't a thing.
No. Yeah, Map of the Soul 7 would never have been the masterpiece.
Wow.
And also, okay, we have to get into this a little bit. What is going to happen with this whole military thing? Can you explain what's going on, Marissa?
Yeah, so in Korea, I think you have to be up to 30 years old, I think. See, I don't know anything about it, so.
I mean, Marissa's our expert, but she's also not Korean. So.
Yeah. So I'll just give you what is in my brain, what I know. They are required to serve in the military for, I think it's 18 months now.
That's a long time.
Yes, like other K-pop idols have had to do it. Some are in the military right now serving, but it's not something that they have, like, the members have openly talked about. Like, they have said, like, we want to serve our country because they're amazing like that. But
they're humble.
Yeah, but they really have been like hush hush about it, which is, it's their own business.
Yeah.
But it's a really big deal in Korea. Like, if you don't serve, it's like looked down upon. So
they probably will.
Yeah. So we just know like speculations or rumors. Like, I've heard they would only serve like a month and then they could go back to their work. Or I've heard that they can like serve a couple days and then they can do their work the other few days. And I'm like, how does that make any sense? But
Only time will tell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they did get an extension because Jin is over 30. In Korean age, he's over 30. So he got an extension. So we'll see.
And I have this sinking suspicion because, as Marisa just mentioned, so there's Korean age and then there's global age. And they're Korean age, so they don't, when they are born, they are one. So they're basically correct, like they're a year.
But it's actually getting taken away. Have you heard that?
Yes, I have. And that's why I wanted to bring it up because I have this sinking suspicion that they were like, okay, we know that, because Jin is the oldest and he's the one that's approaching this deadline to join the military. And I have this suspicion that the government was like, because you have to imagine this is, BTS is global. They have brought so much economy, revenue, and just opportunity, culture. So much. They are so influential for South Korea that the government's like, we need, like, they literally have spoken at the UN, okay? Yes, they are advocates.
South Korea's like, what are we going to do about BTS joining the
literally,
army?
they have to, because
we got to get rid of this Korean age thing.
Yes, they're
pronto.
Like, it'll at least buy us a year. It'll give us a year. Like, let's get rid of the Korean age. It'll buy us a year. Plus, it's annoying anyway, so, like, let's just do this.
Why? But I've also heard that they would go and serve all together. Like, they would just all be gone.
That would be ideal, I think. Because otherwise...
I think so, too.
With their age gaps, they would... who knows what... They would have to break up.
And we saw what happened when Suga had surgery and he was out for a couple months. They, like, could not handle it.
Yeah, no.
They missed him way too much.
Which is adorable.
So cute.
Which is really
They love
cute.
each other so much.
But I'd hate to see that for them, like, the whole time. They're missing one member all the time.
Exactly. And because of the age gaps, it would happen. So, they need... I think they either all serve together or they just get an exemption. They already have... do you know the award that they have? Oh. They have an award, like some kind of recognition for the... what they've
so they're the Special Presidential Envoy for Future Generations and Culture.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
That's a good one, too.
Oh, mic drop.
That's a good music video.
Definitely check out mic drop. Yes. Basically, which is an equivalent in Korea that it's like a presidential recognition, kind of like the peace or the Nobel Peace Prize or something like that, like a equivalent level of they're recognized nationally. And so, like, they've already got that award for all 7 members. So, like, come on, they just
might as well
just exempt them from the military. They have other things that are important. Okay, like being able to.
They're serving so many people by making them happy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So there. Okay, so now what is it? It's the middle of May right now.
When we're recording
at the time of recording.
Yes.
And at the time of listening, their album will be out.
Their
brand new album.
Their album came out in June
10th.
And it's an anthology album.
Yes.
And
we're very excited about it.
Yes.
And we're also even more excited about the potential of a tour
we are waiting for the day when they announce.
I can't wait because I literally have told Emily, like, we are going to have, like, as many fans as we know in the area. We're all going to sit at our own computer and we'll all have our tickets.
Try.
And we're just going to try.
If you don't know, getting a BTS ticket is like Hunger Games, the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So
if you're listening to this right now and they haven't announced a tour yet, please do not purchase a ticket so that we have a better chance.
You don't want to go.
You can just catch up on all the content online.
Say, you've got a lot of catching up to do, so you can go later.
Yeah, so why don't we end our BTS talk about all the things if somebody's new to BTS and they want to dip their toe in or just jump in fully. What do they need to watch? Where do they watch? What do they watch? How do they watch?
Wow.
Or listen?
That's a great question. Well, I think you guys started out with just watching the music videos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just
like
YouTube. Yeah.
And I will say one thing that really helped me. So we definitely started with the music videos. And then I watched the Carpool Karaoke with James Corden.
Yeah.
Which is sad because I know James Corden's stepping down from the Late Late Show.
Yeah.
But that video, you get to see their personalities a little bit. You get like start to get a sense. It's very fun, and that was a huge thing for me. Of like, I want to learn more about these guys. They seem fun, and so I would recommend also watching. They also did the musical. What's on this? Crosswalk.
Yeah.
Musical Crosswalk. They also did an episode of that with James Corden. Highly recommend that as well. And like I said, it's very fun, and you get to get a sense of their personalities.
Yeah, maybe we'll put together a playlist of videos that we recommend you watch and share it on our social.
It's so hard to choose.
I know. But yeah, watch the music videos, watch some interviews to get to know them, and then look at photos to like
start to learn who's who.
Learn who's who.
And one thing I do also kind of want to touch on that's a little bit different, because they are from South Korea, obviously. They're not American. And there is, like, different platforms that they use, like Weverse. Like, can you kind of describe what Weverse is, Marisa?
So Weverse is an app. It's kind of like a social media app. It's like Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, where different idol groups, K-pop groups, can post their pictures or post notes to their fans, and you do have to have like a membership to go on there and see some of their stuff, but if you don't have one, you can still look.
And one thing that is a little bit of a challenge is the translation. And the language barrier is a little bit of a barrier.
And also the translations on Weverse is not the best, so I would recommend going to Twitter and looking up. There's wonderful people that will translate everything for you, who actually know what they're doing.
Thank you, Army. We love you, Army.
Yeah, so on Weverse they have special content if you have a membership. But then they also, like, the members can go live on there. No, not on Weverse.
Not on Weverse. On VLive they can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is why we have Marisa.
I know.
See, that's the
There's
one thing.
so many apps.
Yeah, I literally
so
have
hard.
a whole section of my phone that's just BTS apps that I need.
Yeah, so VLive is another app that idol groups use.
Oh yeah.
Where they can go live and like live talk to their fans. There's a live chat and they just like hang out. Sometimes they eat food, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And it's so fun and we love it.
Yeah.
Even though we don't understand a word they're saying unless they
but
speak
there are
in
subtitles.
Yeah. And that's one thing that is so fun about, like, so having my friend Caitlin and Marissa, who are so like deep into it, I'm just like, hey, what do I need to know?
Yeah, I know. Whenever there's something that I don't know, I'm like, Marissa, what does this mean?
I know, what is this? What is
like,
going
let
on?
me tell you.
And it's just so nice to have that resource, because I'm like, I don't quite have the time to dive too deep into it.
I think that's where I got lucky though, because I found them in the middle of the pandemic, so I had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
How did you find them? Is my question.
So I was actually binge watching James Corden Carpool Karaoke because I love those, and theirs came up and I was like, oh, cool, I'll watch it. And then I heard one song on there that I was like, I need to hear the whole song. It was Black Swan. They didn't play the whole song, but I was like, I need to hear the whole thing. So I looked them up, and then I wanted to know their names, and then that was it.
Again, it's so fast. I can't believe how fast it was. Like, I had heard about them. I knew people who were obsessed. I talked with Emily, and I became a fan. It was, like, literally overnight. Yeah. It's crazy.
And for the first, I don't even know how many months. Like, I just started to get to a point where I don't need to bring them up in every situation or conversation. I can have a conversation now and not feel the need to say BTS.
Well, you might feel the need, but you have the restraint.
Yes,
they're always up there. Seriously, something is always related to them. You can always bring it back to BTS, which can be annoying, and it can also be amazing, depending who you're talking to.
But going back to other content, they also have shows, like Anne was mentioning earlier. They have BTS Run.
Mm-hmm. Which is, you can watch on YouTube for free.
And then they have Bon Voyage.
Mm-hmm. Bon Voyage, where they go on a trip together and they film basically everything.
Just like a reality show. It's amazing. And that's on...
You can find that on Weverse, but you have to purchase it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then same thing with...
In the Soup?
Yes, In the Soup. Thank you. I'm like,
that is also
there's
on
so much content that I can't
Weverse.
even remember.
It is. It's nuts. And and that's the thing too, like, Caitlin gave me a long earful about not earful, that sounds negative. I was very happy to listen, but she was telling me about, like, you can really get deep into it. Like, they have this whole narrative, and they also have their BT21 where they made little characters, and like there's just so much. Like they have 3 reality TV shows, but then they also have like 5 other things.
They're
and there's
basically
like
filmed all the time.
Yeah. And even like there's also within like even their music, they build these different narratives, and like, there's just there is so
storylines and
much
that I don't even understand still. So
yeah, that's what she was saying. She's like, I haven't had time to get fully into it, but I want to. Yeah.
If we haven't convinced you to
at least give them a try.
Give them a try. Give them a chance. Listen to like one song, watch one music video.
Try to learn their names.
And if you don't like them, then I'm sorry.
I think the new album is amazing because it's all of like their
The best
top
of the
hits.
best.
Yeah, best of the best. So just give a listen to that and then you'll...
Yes, Proof. We are so excited.
Yeah.
Give a
Yes.
listen to Proof. That is their new album coming out June 10th, which is... this will be out after that, so you will be able to
We're
listen.
gearing
there.
up for it.
Yes,
Go
we are
check
very
on
excited.
Apple Music or Spotify.
Yes.
And don't forget, this is we'll end as we always do with our life lessons. My life lesson is don't try and buy tickets for BTS because we need to try and buy them.
And mine, what was mine? I already said mine. Oh,
Trust.
mine was trust your friends and their music taste.
Oh, do I have one?
Yeah.
Force your music taste on your friends, no matter what.
Yes, we love. Because yes, literally you and also Caitlin, thank you for introducing me. And it's so funny because I've introduced it to friends as well. And like I sent it to a friend and she like within 2 days sent me a text back. What have you done to me? I'm now obsessed with these people. How did this? I'm like, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's so fun. Like,
Yeah.
what would we be doing with our lives? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It wouldn't be
We would
very
be bored.
fun. I would still be listening to Taylor Swift is what would be happening.
Poor
Not that I'm
Tay-Tay.
hating on Tay-Tay.
No,
Love
she's
you.
amazing.
But BTS.
Yeah, just saying.
Just doesn't compare.
Okay, well, thanks, Marissa, for
Thank
being
you,
our
Marissa.
expert
Thank
and
you.
for showing us the ropes on our journey and always being there to answer questions.
Yes.
I'm your teacher.
Yes, thank you so much. We rely on you a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Happy to help.